Desert Island Discs.
Welcome to this edition of Desert Island Discs, your number one personality profile program. And yes, tonight on the program, an incredible atmosphere from a distinguished gentleman that has distinguished himself in personifying what we want to term the amoeba effect, where you're able to morph and fit in the environment where you find yourself, whether by design or by accident. From a high-flying corporate office to now tilling the land and making the best benefits out of it, if for nothing else, give us a wonderful cup of coffee, is Robert Kabushenga. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I think we need to tell our listeners that this is the third time I am doing this show. Thankfully, it's with three completely different people, totally different personalities. First, and at different times, because I first did it, I think, in 96, I think, with William.
What were you then?
You can't believe what I was trying to do. I had just acquired, with some friends, we had acquired the license to do Miss Uganda. So I needed
the license to do Miss Uganda, or?
In order for you to do Miss Uganda, you had to be licensed.
I understand all that, Robert. My sister was Miss Uganda.
Oh, yeah,
but I want to say how you, Robert,
organize. Organize, not do, organize.
Okay. And your interest here was in the event?
The event, the money.
Or the people?
No. I wasn't auditioning for a wife at that point. I was.
Because if that was auditioning for a wife, boy oh boy, you were picking from the finest in the land.
I was looking for money. So I needed media to get, because I drew my inspiration from what Andrew had done. Andrew Rugasira with his Lucky Dube shows. I thought,
VR promotion.
Yes, I thought, man, this thing, there's money. Let me.
In events.
But I want to go into music because I just don't have the big money. I thought, Miss Uganda would be a good way to get moving. So that's when I went to William. So he did the first Desert Island Discs. It was a way of promoting
the Miss Uganda edition.
Yes, that show. That's the one that had Shiba as the winner.
Shiba Kerere.
Yes.
Wow.
Then we probably got a bit too ambitious. The next one that had Lillian Achom, but we lost so much money it was not viable anymore, and we were about to lose our shirts.
And this is right.
Yeah, we decided let's each one go their separate ways.
So let's say that the whole business acumen thing about you and trying out new things and going to previously unknown or uncharted waters is not something of now, because now we are wondering how from a wonderful air conditioning office, now you are in actual air conditioning, literally.
My if you want to call it that, my entrepreneurial journey and foray into business, if you want to call it that, or trading, actually it goes back a very long time ago. It's 1970, somewhere between 1976 and 1977. I was 8 years old.
I'm sure all you were doing was smuggling, because that's the only.
I wish I had done smuggling. My grandfather didn't allow us to do so. My grandfather in Mbale, there was a real opportunity. People were smuggling coffee across the border from Mbale to Kenya.
Yeah, but an 8-year-old, how much?
No, I would have carried. The only worry was there is a stream that divides, a river that divides Kenya and Uganda. It's called Wahaha. Now, to cross it, you have to cross it in order to be safe. You have to cross it at a place of significant rapids. And that point, you have to cross it at night.
Whoa.
In order to go to a market in Kenya, somewhere between Webuye, somewhere around Webuye and Kitale there. There's a place, Bungoma and Webuye. It's very famous. They even sang about it. The locals call it Chebukube, but I think the Sabines call it Chepkumbe, so whatever. But so that's where people used to take coffee to go and this. But my grandfather was so dead against it. He didn't want any of his either children or his involved in smuggling coffee because he thought it was wrong. But we would hear guys walking at night with sacks. They would go in trails. So I missed that opportunity.
So why didn't you trading it?
Me? So at 8, this is now desperation. My mother, we were living in the flats in Naguru, the ones that were demolished to create a way for something for a city that didn't happen. I seem to have this bad luck. Everything about my past and child has been demolished. Naguru flats demolished. Shimoni demonstration school demolished. Sagali collapsed. So,
stop being a doomsday guy.
Lumumba is about to go down.
Well, we have hundreds of people working at the New Vision. So please.
Main building got burnt.
Yeah, but we have hundreds of people working at the New Vision.
They're
not here.
No, monitor is still there, so okay. I work there. So my mother started a business making scones or bread or buns, as they call them, and they had to be sold. Now, because she didn't have labor, I was the...
You were the natural laborer?
Yes. So my job was to go around hawking. So I would go knocking on doors.
In there?
In the housing estate in Naguru, selling those buns. So there are friends of mine who remember me from those days. One of them even still calls me by my nickname. He calls me Buns. How are you? Because from that time.
So you're called Robo Bun or Robert Bun. You said it was John Bun. I mean, you may
but it was a bit. I thought then it was painful that they were making fun of me. But that was the time. I had no choice. That was who I was.
Let's get down to the trading bit about it. Of course, when you are walking buns for your mother, you better bring back the equivalent in cash of what she sent you. But as a young man...
No, but there was an incentive. There was an incentive to do that.
Tell me now.
At tea time, I was the only one who got to have 2 buns.
And as one!
So I mean, what was I going to do with this money apart from giving it back? So I give back the money, I bring back all the money, all the accountability, knowing I have an investment. 2.
An extra bun.
2.
Wow.
Well, the others are looking.
That was the first time on the program, pushing yourself as a budding businessman.
Yes, but I learned how to trade. Because even you learn rejection, sales. But I would go around and in neighborhoods knock, this one takes on credit, like that. That didn't last very long.
Some haven't paid, I'm sure, up to today.
They vanished. You know, and I drive by those shops. They were mainly shopkeepers. I drive by those shops in Naguru. I look at the shops and I remember. But so that's where it really started. Then, fast forward later on, the work that I was involved with distributors of newspapers. So yes, I have always found trading, enterprise. Improvising has always been something that comes to me fairly well.
So let's pack that now.
Okay.
The second time you were on this program.
Alan Kasuja. So I told you opposite.
Which year?
It's probably, I'm trying to recall now, but it was, I can't remember now the exact year.
What were you? Because you've been so many things.
No, I was CEO now. So he was talking to me as CEO of Vision Group, which I think we had done a lot of things by then, and he wanted to find out.
And you were just transferred from being the
executive director of the Media Center.
Of the Media Center, yes.
Yeah, but I'd spent some time. So a lot of the things I had done were now obvious, clear. We had expanded into broadcast and we were innovating all sorts of things that seemed to capture the imagination of the public. So he wanted to hear my story. Again,
that also tells something about you, the ability to pick a bun and sell it as a burger.
Or
innovating.
No, not sell it as a burger. You sell it as an experience.
Tell me more about that. I don't get it.
You see, a burger is just one part of the experience of a bun. But there is the smell, there is the look of it.
Let's call it an aroma, please.
There's
cultured Bachiga.
You're one of us. So the thing is that you've got to acquire the skill of selling an experience. Never just sell a product. You see, it's not a camera or a microphone that you're selling. No.
It's the laughter, it's the emotion.
Exactly. Being able to capture those things, that whole experience that comes with it. That's what you sell. But people here come and want to sell me a watch. And they're telling me, no, it is the best watch. You can go underwater with it. No, the watch you're telling me. How will I be seen?
With the watch.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking for. What's the image I'm trying to cut?
I'm here indeed now to pick a feel of you and see what transition has done to you from, again, I will repeat for a benefit of emphasis, from an air-conditioned, high-flying corporate office to now being on the farm. Now, we know that when we close our eyes and imagine farm life, it's cock crows in the morning, pick up the hoe, go till the land, break your back, come back, sleep, and wait for harvest season. So what it is like for you now? What's your day like?
Fantastic. So what I do is, depending on what the day is like, I wake up. I'll probably be awake by around 5:30 anyway. But it's dark, so there isn't much that I can do outside. So I read or catch up on either messages or things may have happened in the night. Then I come out at 6:30 and do a run around the track of the farm.
Wow.
Yes, and I manage.
From what I see with the
hills.
Undulating hills and all that. So you have a way, you have your track that only goes downhill.
No, downhill is actually not good for the knees. So I minimize going downhill, but I do a lot of climbing. Then when I'm done, I have a quick breakfast. Then from 9 o'clock up to, say, midday, I do what I would call the intellectual work, the things that require mental application. So either stuff on email or do the finances or do the things that really require mental work because I'm still fresh. Then at 12, I then go out to go and have a look at either the cows or whatever it is, and I start my walk around of the farm. So I then have lunch at 12:30. Then in the afternoon, I spend the afternoon, I have a nap or something, or go around the farm again to just cross-check whether the day's work has been done, walk around. Because there are many activities. There is picking of coffee, there is weeding in the banana plantation, there is putting supports, there is checking on the beehives to make sure that the beehives, pests haven't invaded them.
Or that maybe some have not been colonized.
It takes a while, so that you check if there are any that are colonized. I am now developing a flower garden to just make sure it is watered. Then I go
the flower garden is supposed to feed into
the apiary.
Apiary.
So it's food for the bees. One of the ways you attract bees for colonization is
flower.
Just put flowers and there's enough color. Once there's color. So those are the things that I do. Then sometimes we have sales, so people come to buy. Then I just go to verify that the quantities they've done are the correct ones. Right now, of course, we have a massive, I'm trying to make use, you're doing this during the lockdown. And one of the things I swore to myself, that this particular lockdown, I am not going to sit in Kampala and pretend
all is well.
No. So, because farmers are allowed to move, so I come here and I decide that during this lockdown, there's a time I'm going to use to start construction work on the warehouse.
Wow.
I need a warehouse on the farm, and it comes in handy. Why? Because now a lot of transporters have no business, so their transport costs are lower. There's no traffic jam, so delivery of materials is much quicker. So everything, this is the time, and I am building the foundation, and I want to finish the foundation before the end of lockdown.
Wow. You'll be telling us more about exactly what you're doing on a daily and what your future projections are on the farm.
Yeah.
But just to pause right there, you recall correctly that on this program we play our music.
Oh, yeah.
That hasn't changed. So have the pleasure of playing your first song, then after that, we get down to our conversation.
I'm going to play a song by Philly Lutaya. It's called Osobolotia. That song was played at a particular time in the history of this country. And it's amazing that it is still relevant today, almost 30 how many years later in the current pandemic. Osobolotia is a beautiful song, and the emotions that Philly invokes in that song are absolutely wonderful.
Well, for our listening pleasure, and of course for picking up the lyrics in there from an old-time Ugandan genius in music here. And I imagine it must be giving you that wonderful satisfaction in terms of view of the accomplishments so far. But this takes in quite a bit of work. Your day is 24 hours.
Yes.
Like many of us.
Yes.
But even to put up this is not after you retire from a full-time job. How were you able to put this up at the same time running a high-octane operation in the media as chief executive?
What I discovered is that you have to make a choice. It's really, not that it's a new discovery, but you have to make a choice. What is it that matters to you? The day I said to myself, I asked myself this very fundamental question, Robert, what is your agenda? I'll never forget what Sevagala told Semogerere. He said, the problem with you, Semogerere, is that you like going on other people's kameme. You never have your own. They were quarreling in DP.
Over DP, exactly.
Yes. So I asked myself at some point, I said, but Robert, what is your own agenda? As our people at home would say, Kabushenga, what is your, as a person, what is your agenda?
What's your purpose?
Exactly. And that question started to haunt me.
But how? You were, again, your career path of growth and development was only taking...
But I was working for other people.
Yeah.
So I was executing the interests of other people. The question was, in all of this, what are your interests?
A good salary, some perks here and there.
Fine. But is it...
The clout that comes with being in those
Fine.
places.
Then you realize how short-sighted that can be. And then
all that is removed.
Yes, then you now start to, you're forced to think long term in terms of your interests. And that is the one thing that every human being should develop the capacity to do, to have a long term view. You must have the ability to look in the future, like 15 years from today. So right now I can tell you, 20 years from now, I'll be 72, and I'll probably have all sorts of ailments, or I should have all sorts of ailments associated with 72-year-olds. So, one, have physical exercise so that you try and delay the onset of degeneration as much as possible. Number two, read a lot so that mentally you're still alert. Number three, do medical checks now and capture certain things now. So looking into the future is not for prophetic or biblical purposes. It is to determine the actions you take now. So one of the future things that I looked at that time was to say, what will happen when this job ends? Where do I go? What do I want to do? That debate started in my head.
There is the normal, I don't want to call it derogatory, but that's an observation that many people use and it's become a proverb.
Yeah.
Abamutufira ku mirimo ng'ekarayi. You
Yes.
know a karai.
Yes, I know it.
It remains on the job.
Until it gets a hole in the bottom.
Right there.
Yes.
Why didn't you think that possibly you could also retire at the job, not from a job?
Okay.
Was that again too
Then the question.
below your...
No, the question is, then what? Because there is a way in which I wanted to live life. There's a way I want to live life in the 70s. Now, do I want to live life in the 70s? If that's, the way,
as a
then,
pensioner, so to speak.
yeah, then I can do that and then just stay in the job. But then also, there's a lot of change taking place. What was the guarantee that I would stay in the job forever? Until the time I wanted to leave. There's no guarantee. I mean...
So you had to be in a position to guarantee yourself.
To start shaping the way...
The day after.
Yeah, and it's not just in terms of setting in place the infrastructure to do that or the assets. No, it's also preparing mentally to say that I must prepare for a time when I will have no people.
No driver,
No
personal
driver.
assistant, no guy cleaning up after you have moved from
Nothing.
the boardroom.
Nothing. Nobody. Some people are very strange.
And the day when you have to receive maybe 1 or 2 phone calls as opposed to the 200 phone calls.
Exactly. Now, some people leave their notes and books in the boardroom for somebody to come and remove. Now, so there are things traps I didn't fall into even when I was in the job. One, I never accepted a driver. Never. Two, I never had a bodyguard, except for a very brief incident where bodyguards were imposed on me. I carried my own bags. I learned that from, there's a recent Supreme Court judge who died recently, Ginsburg. Somebody tried to carry her bag. She was a very tiny woman. One of her bodyguards tried to carry her bag. She said, no, it's too heavy for you. This is a much younger person.
I can imagine.
So, there are things I said to myself, I will never allow those things to be done for me because it disables you. So, those things I never did.
That
helped me.
Step number 1 into the normalcy you're in.
Yeah, you never quite leave who you are, where you came from. Then number 2 was, okay, now how do you mentally now prepare for this life that you want to live afterwards? Mentally. Then I ran into a friend, somebody who became my friend, Gonza Kagwa. He's also doing farming. He's an architect, but he does farming. And we started talking about not just a farm, which has farming activities as the crops, but we talked about a lifestyle. We started to dream. Instead of building a concrete house, you build a wooden cabin to sort of mimic the life. If you go back and you check all my pictures taken when I started the farming journey from 2016, all when I'm at the farm, all of them I'm wearing overalls and gumboots.
I find you the same tonight.
There was a reason. There was a reason. Robert, get used to
This.
quickly.
When was the last time you actually wore a suit since your retirement? I last saw you in a tie, I think, at your farewell party.
Yes. No, I wasn't even in a tie. I was in a jacket. I think that's the last time.
It will be quite a while before you put on a jacket.
Yeah, because I'm not sure that's going to happen. And even shoes. You'll laugh at me. So in March last year, just before the lockdown, I traveled, and so I said, let me just go to the mall and buy a pair of shoes.
A good pair of shoes.
Up to now.
They're still in the box.
I haven't worn them. Because remember, there was lockdown, we all went casual, and then I left the job. Now what?
As they say, no,
and nobody is sending me an invitation for a wedding. So
and churches are closed, so you cannot go to pray. Put on your Sunday best.
So it's too bad. So, but what that helped is that the transition was not traumatic. But there was one thing I hadn't done. All those years, I had never come round to spending nights on the farm.
You came during the day?
And I left.
Bellowed out instructions?
No, I actually came early, stayed with the guys, we worked together. Sometimes I would I would come in a day so I worked with them. But then in the evening, I would drive back to Kampala. So in March of 2021, that's this year, I decided that since I'm now going to be full-time at the farm, let me experiment with sleeping there, because that's the only thing I haven't done. In January, I already knew I was leaving, so I had to work to finish the house quickly, put in electricity, there was already water, all those things. So,
at least you made sure that you'll have running water coming off, a shower overhead.
No,
Bucket.
That I can handle.
Can you?
Yeah, that one I can handle.
The best. You have a seat toilet.
That was the seat toilet was the most important thing. Because sometimes you get caught out in the night and your stomach riots, and you really need to go and take a fantastic long crap, and you can't start going to the pits in the night, walking out of your house.
The whole idea of balancing up.
It is. I am old, man. My knees. So I decided. So once all that was completed, in March, the long weekend of Women's Day, I decided to experiment with sleeping here. Now, initially, I thought it would be just a simple thing of coming here to sleep, but it was so radically different. Quiet, dark, no people. I was alone. Things were running in the ceiling. Rats were climbing over the bed.
Monkeys chattering outside.
Monkeys not so much. It's birds scratching, lizards, rats running over my bed, and I wake up and I have to fling them off. And then the sounds outside, and then you're not sure
whether you're actually alone
and who is going to come for you. Then it's also unusual. And remember, for the last 20 how many years, I have been sleeping with someone.
Absolutely.
Now suddenly I'm on my own.
Why did you come with her? I mean, it was Women's Day. That would be an
Hey, that negotiation is still going on. You see, what I didn't want to do, and it's something I've never done in my life, I do not impose my personal wishes on other people.
Even your children?
No, because for me, I am capable of a lot of stuff. It doesn't mean that I now take them through the hardship. For what? For them, they are my children. I built them through a certain lifestyle, and I have built for them a house in Kampala. If that's where they want to be, fine. When their time comes in their lives, they'll make their own choices. So I couldn't impose. But I said, I'm going to start staying at the farm because now there's nothing I'm doing in Kampala. Otherwise, soon, I'll be going from one TV station to another talking nonsense.
Well.
No, I mean, in terms of...
At least, now the TV at least has come to you.
Yes, which is okay. So I started sleeping here. Now, I am so used that...
The sounds that scared you are now lullabies.
But I also fixed a few things, dealt with the rats, sorted all that stuff out. Now, I even come here and there's a certain feeling.
Therapeutic.
I'm happy to be back home after a short break in Kampala.
It's not the other way around.
No, I go to Kampala for the weekend.
then come here to work.
Yes, then I come.
But let's play the next song. Then when we return, it's more of what exactly goes on in here and how you are kicking it through. Again,
this is one of my favorite African artists, Hugh Masekela. But the song I want to play is the concert version of his song called Tumamina. It means send me. Tumamina is it's one of those public causes. You know me and my involvement in public causes. He says he's saying about sending him to champion certain causes, and I think it's a really beautiful song. But the concert version of his concert at the marketplace, play that for me.
Just before we can play that,
Yeah.
Robert, indeed, it's for sure. You have been involved in very many social causes.
Yes.
Largely, perhaps because of the positions you hold and the sway your positions or platforms
Yes.
gave to those social causes.
Yes.
After this song, we want to find out from you whether you are still involved in more causes than what is now personal to you, and what else, indeed, you could be sent to do.
So, Tumamena.
We'll be right back. It's Desert Island Discs.
Desert Island Discs.
Oh, Tumamina, mdale wame Tumamina. Oh, Tumamina.
Welcome back. It's Robert Kabushenga of Ruggiero Farm sharing with us his life story in transition. But most importantly, his ability to morph and fit into circumstances that many may find very difficult to fit in. And because you have been on the program before, we're going to take you back and ask where were you born, when you were born, to whom you are. No.
I think a lot of people know. Yeah.
Even if they didn't, I think now we're more interested in how you are thriving and surviving this transition. So, before we broke off, we were talking about your ability to, do so many things, but most importantly, going in to champion social causes.
Yes.
Why so? Is it something in you or something imposed on you by the positions you held?
So first of all, there was a selfish reason, selfish business reason for doing it.
As your key motivation.
Yeah. So Vision, as a company, had a unique position in society. It's owned by government. So there's a lot of prejudice by people. And so a lot of our competitors had also positioned us or stereotyping us.
Of that.
So we had to find a way
of endearing yourselves to
the audiences. Now it's important. So, and it worked because people started to cut us a lot of slack. We said, okay, but when it comes to these other things,
blood donation, they're there.
They're there.
So these are social causes, they're there.
So it's only the politics. And so they started to forgive us. So that was one of the motivations, that do things where people feel that you are important in their lives. You're an important part of their lives. You're not just something they observe at a distance.
At a distance, you touch their lives.
You touch their lives.
Up close.
Yes. So we took on all those causes with fervor, and the people paid us back in large amounts. It was incredible, the goodwill we generated as a result of that.
So what started off as a selfish business overture, position, the organization you're working for.
Yes.
Did it catch up into second nature in as far as you are concerned now?
So the second thing about me is that I believed as a principle that if you head an organization or if you find yourself in a position in society, the purpose of that position is not just your personal benefit. Your personal benefit is a consequence. The purpose of you being in that position is to cause social good. So Vision didn't exist just for the sake of providing media. It had such a big advantage. Here I was in such a powerful office. Was I just there for the prestige of it? I had to be socially consequential, and so had the company. So at a personal level, that was my philosophy. So to do things with my position and my office and my infrastructure that is bigger, benefits a larger number of people, and is bigger than me. And that helps because then I stop being the focal point. And then all the negative and envy stuff that would come with people focusing on me and the privilege of my position disappears.
Let's get down to this farm. I mean, the drive up here and going through the matoke plantation, the coffee plantation. I've seen tens, perhaps even hundreds of workers in here. Let's start from the basics. Where do you find these guys? You found them on this village? You employed them here, from here, or you shipped them in from Nether?
I don't know where they came from.
You did that.
Some of them are from the local, they're from the area. Others came from, especially the ones who work in coffee, came from coffee growing areas. Now, these are poor people. These are desperate people. They need something to do. and they just want to do an honest day's work. That's all. They're not thieves. They don't want to kill anyone. They're just looking for a way to exist in the world in this monetary economy. Baganda have a very interesting wisdom. They say you cannot be the only wealthy person on the village. Mm-hmm. So the investment in the security of this farm is that it benefits the local people have a stake. So they have work here, I pay them, they go home, they feed their families. Mm-hmm. They are happy. So me, I have a farm. Whether I don't even get a salary from this place at all, no. Because it hasn't yet reached the point where the income can pay me.
Can pay you, yes.
But it can pay these other people who make it what it is, and we're still building, which is fine. Now, then another thing I do is I've managed to invest in sourcing clean water, which is something the village didn't have.
Oh.
Now, yeah, because they had to go to wells that were not protected and the water wasn't clean. Mm-hmm. Now they get water for free. So they are invested in my prosperity. So all these people you see working here, it's very important that when you succeed or when you have some prosperity, you find ways that are productive and sustainable of sharing it. It's not just about giving out money on a Friday or on a Sunday as gifts. No, it's creating the opportunity for people to earn. If you can do that, you're doing a hell lot more than people who are doing charity.
But you're dealing, like you said, with poor people who want to do an honest day's job.
Yes.
Management of humans,
yes,
remains as challenging as it was for you in a corporate organization where
it doesn't change.
It doesn't change.
It's much easier to manage cows than it is to manage people.
But the dynamics may be a bit different for this kind of people.
Yes.
When you face them, the
yes,
moments you face them.
Yes.
Transiting from speaking in boardrooms and showing graphs and PowerPoint presentations,
yes,
and coming down to perhaps telling someone to do something they know better to do than you.
Yes.
Because you don't know this stuff.
No, I don't.
They teach it to you.
Yeah, they do.
How are you positioning yourself from here to come down to their level and learn from them in as much as you're their benefactor?
That's what I said. You've got to teach your brain, your mind, tame your ego, and be prepared to come down to people's level.
How was it for you?
It's because I had done it over a longer period. I had to accept that, for instance, the guy who is in charge of running my banana plantation knows more than I do. And he showed me by his results, and I accepted it. So what he says goes. The guy who looks after the coffee plantation, he was trained in coffee. I trained as a lawyer. I didn't train as a coffee...
Not even a barrister?
No.
And it's interesting the relationship of a barrister in law and a barrister for coffee.
No, exactly. I didn't train not even as a barrister of coffee.
Coffee.
So they can't argue with me on the law. I can't argue with them on
the coffee.
Exactly. That intellectual discipline to accept that you've hired these people because they know what they're doing is important. You may be the owner of the farm and you may be the one bringing in the money to invest, but you are not the one who knows how to plant a coffee tree or how to, what we call husband it, crop husbandry.
Oh, okay.
Husbanding the tree until it is giving you the yield. So I tell the guys, this is the output I need, because I am sure from a financial standpoint, I need this performance in terms of yield. They look at me and say, fine, it can be achieved.
Input.
You bring these inputs. If you bring them, they will translate into this. Finished. No discussion. We don't have these long meetings of people presenting PowerPoints and I don't know what. No, it's nothing. It's very simple. Boss, you want 20 kilos per tree for coffee? Yes. Bring fertilizer in this quantity and bring manure. Finished. And give us workers and go and buy these tools. And by the way, while you're at it, pay us this salary. Finished.
But let's also not pretend like we're working in a very utopian society where, like you said, guys are nice, they do an honest day's job.
No, they don't.
You have case of discipline and all that.
But that's
to put them in.
I completely agree. That's the reason why I spend more time here and I come to Kampala for the weekend. I have nothing to supervise in Kampala.
But you have to be here supervising.
Yes.
So many times they work because you're here.
Yeah, they have to, because even if, and I've noticed it, even if I don't go down to the plantation, even if all I do is go and park my car there.
That in fact I can smuggle you out of this farm in my car.
And they will never...
But for as long as your car is parked there.
They will work as if I am present. You just have to understand their psychology. And if you want to get anything done, I'll never forget the principle that I was taught. You know, I did some military training. So my trainer,
When was that?
2006.
Your ambition was to be a general?
No,
We can see how miserably that's
no. Actually, the story was quite different.
When they picked you up, young men, to
No,
cadetship course.
no, that was 91. So I did a cadetship course in 91 and I did military training in 2006. The reason was...
Sandhurst?
No, I wish it was...
Fort Leavenworth?
No. Our own prestigious. I was in Kasyate, where the Special Forces group trains. The beauty of it was that they wanted me to get a bodyguard. And I said, no, it's too cumbersome. They said, okay, then in that case, you go and train. I said, so they thought they were putting a difficult proposition, so I accept a bodyguard. I called their bluff.
I went and trained.
And I went and trained.
How many months?
3.5. I trained in what is called fighting in urban spaces or urban defense, self-defense and things like that. And I didn't know. I always assumed that the best self-defense weapon is a gun. Mm-hmm. No.
It's what?
It's your legs. You take off. Because when something happens,
stuff for cowards.
you run. Then when you're in a cover,
Then you can.
now you start figuring out what the hell is going on. But if you stay and you want to fire guns, you don't know. Those people may have studied you better. So you flee.
So I suspect you went to this just to lose a bit of weight and get your running skills, like any other.
So the guys there taught me one thing. They said, in Swahili, they said, always remember one word. The Swahili word is kusimamia.
What's that?
To supervise.
Kusimamia.
Kusimamia. You must supervise everything if you want it done. You have to supervise it. It is what you inspect that gets done, not what you expect.
Say that again.
It is what you inspect that gets done, not what you expect.
I love that.
Exactly.
We'll pin that and follow. So right here,
Yeah.
inspection.
Yes.
Pure and clear.
Yeah. And you can see the difference. People will tell you that the owner of this farm is around. The owner of, and you just go down and you will see some banana plantations that are overgrown. Those people are not around, they're on phone. I took you to see my cows, very well fed, very well looked at. I am here.
But the other cows where you see the rib cage through the hide.
The man is on the phone.
On the phone.
He's buying food for the manager. That's it. So I look at people and they complain, people tell us this agriculture story, but it doesn't work. It's I put in money, this happened. Yeah, you put in money and then what? Okay, you put money in a saloon and don't go there for 3 days and you tell me.
No, I saw someone posting on Twitter for a bunch of little malnourished carrots and said, people see, these are carrots I watered for 3 months.
That is rubbish. Those people they're just mocking. They're mocking the agriculture story because they want to maintain this notion that agriculture doesn't pay. Because they're covering up for their own laziness. People in this country are very lazy. They think things will just work out somehow. Things can't work out somehow. You have to spend sleepless nights. People forget we're in a very bad part of the world. We're not in Europe, we're not in America. The fact that we're on Twitter and all these things doesn't mean we live in California.
But tell me something, how do you call this a bad part of the world when it's
bad part because
we have 2 climates in one day?
That's true, but you're not going to call a guy to come and fix your stuff and he comes on time as he said. No.
Oh, yeah.
Look at some guy was supposed to come and fix something in my house. He told me he would be here at 9. He arrived at 10:30 and he told me there was rain in Kampala. So now, that's what I'm saying, that we're in a part of the world where things don't work as efficiently as we would like them to work, or we want to pretend. So it calls upon you who wants things done at a particular standard
to put in
more time than your counterpart in
California.
Exactly. And yet, the farmers that work in those countries are 10 times more hardworking than what we call farmers in Uganda. You're sitting in Kampala at the golf club and calling your manager to find out if the chickens are ready. The chicken farmer in the Netherlands is there from morning till evening.
He's right there.
That's where he works. He doesn't do anything else. So, this notion that somehow it is a side hustle, let me first go to the mall, then I'll call the guy and find out. No. And I discovered that I came here in April. That's when I started to spend more time here. And in 2 weeks, we had planted 16,500 plants of coffee in 2 weeks.
Which you hadn't done over the years in that short period of time, even with the resources available.
Yes.
And the phone calls coming in ferocious.
2 weeks. It's because I was here. And they knew that I would wake up and come and inspect.
Later on in the program, of course, you'll be telling us whether the people that you left in Kampala don't really miss you and want you around them and then allowed you to be on the farm, or are you here out of defiance? Play your next song, Robert.
One of the greatest Ugandan artists
Again.
ever. Yeah.
I love the choice of music.
That this guy, I mean, it's fascinating what we've been able to produce. The late Geoffrey Oriema, and the song to play is La Poigne.
What about that song fascinates you, and why do you choose it to be played today?
It's the sound. It's just that sound, the way he puts it together, and to hear Luo being sung in a rock version, and I've watched him play it on an international stage. It's amazing. It's absolutely fascinating.
Your choice of music is informed by the lyrical value, the richness of the arrangement of the music, or the danceability of the song?
People don't know how to listen to music.
How do you listen to music?
You listen to music fully. Everything from the arrangement, the beat, the voice, the lyrics, the emotions it evokes in you, the memories it brings.
You must not be listening to music lately because much of it is produced by Fruity Loops and other apps.
The modern music is a bit of a problem. I listen, when my kids start playing stuff by some guy called Stormzy, I wonder what the hell is going on, but that's... my music is eclectic and different, and it's got to be arranged properly for me to enjoy it.
Enjoy the music means what? You dance to it?
No.
So you have two left feet, Robert?
No, sometimes I'll dance. Sometimes I'll move around in my car when I'm listening. I don't listen to radio anymore. I haven't listened to radio in Uganda in like over 10 years. I just play music.
Don't mock the guys listening to us now on the radio.
No.
There's now good content on radio to be listened to.
Okay, that's good.
Let's get down to Robert's choice of music, that wonderful song by the late Geoffrey Oriema, and we're back with him on Desert Island Discs.
Desert Island Discs.
Welcome back. It's Robert Kabushenga sharing with us his life story as it is. Now, Robert, let's, we are touching here and there, but let's now go back to your last deployment as CEO of the New Vision.
Yeah.
And in the last days and transiting into this.
Yeah.
Many a times, and often, it's the management of the change process that worries people. When you look back at the last many years you were there, what do you look back at and say, thankfully, gladly, this I did, and I'm eternally grateful to my gut, to my grit, and whatever else contributed to my making it there?
So first of all, I don't regret anything.
Wow.
Everything we did had to be done for the reasons that it had to be done. And in the process, many people may have been upset. It wasn't personal. I had a job to do, and we had to do it. And that was all that I cared for. I was given a task, I had to do it.
But they didn't just pick any guy and give him that task.
Yes.
Robert, you were at the New Vision. If your story that you've shared several is anything to go back, and we don't mind you sharing it again. You walked into the New Vision, first time in your life, and you were doing the most menial jobs in there.
Yeah. I mean, I had been there for a long time, in different levels. So I started on the factory floor, as everybody knows. I was counting newspapers, and then I did that while I was a student. Then I got back in as a legal officer, and then rose through the ranks, and eventually became a company secretary. And then I detoured and went to the office of the president.
And then came back.
Then I did the job, and I have, as I said, I have zero regrets. I had, because of the past experience and what I knew, and as a person, you also have your own plans and ambitions and things you want to realize in this job. And so you start to dream, and then you start to execute those things. So for instance, I had always wanted us to be in broadcast. So this was my chance to now pursue that, and it came through, and we did it. TV, radio, then there was events, then there was all the stuff that we did. And as I said, we made those choices, and we made them at the right time. And they worked for us, and it served us very well. And I have absolutely no regrets. But there's something else I did, and I said this to myself. So first of all, when I moved into the office, I never had any personal stuff in that office. No photographs of family. I don't know. People think that these offices are personal, so they start carrying their wives' photos, their mistresses' photos, their kids, and put it. No, it's not my office. The public office.
So in your office, in your house,
there, Madame is there.
Chronological order.
Fine. Now the personal stuff can come in. Here, this is a public office. So I was always prepared from day one to leave within 20 minutes.
Just pick your bag.
And go. There was nothing personal there. And it helped me to maintain perspective.
You just reminded me of how I left my previous office.
Yes.
I had to get movers.
Why?
Bro,
I know.
I had a kettle, cups.
No, mine was
whiskey.
Imagine. You are lucky. Me, I didn't even have coffee. No, but I had nothing. I always knew that the way I came is the way I will live. But there's also the other thing, the principle that ruled my stay there. I said, I'm only here as long as I enjoy the confidence
of my employer.
The day I realized that the employer is having doubts about whether I'm the right person for the job, I will not stay 1 minute longer. And that's what happened in this case. I just knew it was time to leave.
What were the telltale signs now? And let's gossip a bit about this.
No, you realize that the expectations that they have of what they want you to deliver are at cross purposes with what you're able to do, humanly possible. So that
guys stretch your ability as a robot.
So at that point, you think, okay, I may not be able to do this, and rather than be in the way of this getting done, let someone else come and try. Let me remove myself so that I am not a problem.
What was that, Robert?
No, I mean, like I said, there are different expectations. There are business expectations. Vision is a communications company. There were communications expectations. There was a feeling that I wasn't applying myself fully on the job, and that in fact I was much more interested in my farming project than I was interested in the work at Vision.
So you are shortchanging the employer.
That's what they said.
Side hustles more than the main.
That's what was presented. I know I wasn't, but that's what it was presented as. And of course, because I was farming publicly, there was sufficient evidence. Now, the circumstances, the media circumstances at the time, I just don't think it could have been handled any other way. But the media circumstances at the time were used to show that I was. So you weigh all those things and you think, look, I mean, it's not Kabushenga's company. It's not George Williams. It's not Geoffrey Sabi. It's not. Please, as Sevagala would say, you tolerate. We tolerate. So it's the logical thing to do. Go. So I left. So there's nothing. There's no bitterness. No nothing. It's just you look at the situation. And then, of course, it's an agreement you reach with, say, you people. I think I may not manage, so maybe, okay. And if they agree.
And let's say you were lucky. You were given the opportunity to have the conversation.
Yes.
On how.
Yes. Yes.
In other places.
Yes. It depends on the relationship you have with your employer.
What was yours like?
It was a very good relationship. Very, very good relationship, which then allowed me
to know when it's not getting.
And also to have that conversation. Because if you've not had a good relationship and you are suspected, then nobody is even going to allow you that opportunity. They will see you as a saboteur, and so on.
And also to deal you that final blow of good riddance to bad rubbish.
Exactly. But in this case, it's, man, you're one of us, but what's happening? So you explain and you say, okay, then they say, no, but maybe here and there. Then say, but okay. And then you, just buy. In good faith. Don't. And it's an important advice, not just you, but those who are listening to us. Never ever leave your employment or whatever it is in bad faith. Never, 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 never. Always live on very good terms. It's absolutely important for you. And never harbor negative feelings. Just go. What are you angry for? For what? All those years that vision was good to me, the things that it did for me, it brought me to where I am today. Even this farm where we're sitting was made possible because I was working there. Why would I now start having bad feelings and negative feelings? This could also collapse because of that terrible negative feeling. So for me, it's just a recognition. And I hope everybody, those people in public office, one day can also realize, it's just say, look, it has refused. We go.
It has refused.
So we go. No problem.
But see, Robert, again, it takes a certain amount of emotional intelligence to be in that space.
Yes.
I, for one, can't claim to be half that intelligent. There are some former employers, if I had on the program,
you would kill them.
I would show them the middle finger.
No, don't ever do that. It's not worth it. It just simply isn't worth it. You've got to, you see, you must in your life, as your life evolves, you must create a certain self-awareness of who you are. I think one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make, especially when they get to my position or they hold these offices, is, and that's why I talked about photos and things, is to fuse themselves with the office. So you ask
you have a Twitter
Kasyate,
account. And
Kasyate, who are you? He starts by saying, I am the
CEO.
head of communications of... No, you are not head of communications. You are Kasyate. There are certain attributes and compositions that form Kasyate. If you look, in my case, I had a separate existence as Kabushenga on social media from the existence of vision. And if there were issues, and I had this discipline, if there were issues that had to do with vision, I would never communicate them on my platform. I would let the vision platform communicate those things themselves, and then I would amplify to my audiences if necessary.
Wow.
Because we have to have a distinction. I am Kabushenga.
How do you draw that line?
You're not the job you do. Simple.
Maybe some could argue that those who fuse themselves with the job, it is as a result of their passion and love for it.
No, it's as a result of terrible insecurities, the lack of self-confidence. That you must be defined by all these props. No. If you're not confident enough to exist on your own without all these props, then what are you? It doesn't matter. That's the truth. You may hate me for it, but that's what it is.
Let's get back to your job, the one that you were doing before you came down here.
Yeah.
Of course, there are also many people who wished you out. Because again, being in positions such as those creates their own ecosystem of haters, as we may put it. Those with whom you disagree, position of policy, position of political inclination, and everything in between. And we see all these negative vibes come up, even in social media spaces and all. Many times people hold on to offices even when things are not going right because they do not want to play in the hands of their haters. Say, oh, finally they got me.
Why?
That never bothered you?
No. No, my mental health is far more important to me than the considerations of other people. But also, I ask the question, what did they gain? What is
left?
Have your debts been paid? Has your salary increased? Has your wife given birth to twins? What has happened? Did your child get good grades? No.
You just leave.
You're probably even much worse off than you were, and maybe hating me was a full-time job.
Oh God!
Now it doesn't exist anymore. You're unemployed. So you shouldn't. I find it really. I mean, people are so shallow that they think, oh, what? I mean, look at me now. What difference has it made? Okay, I don't wear suits. Maybe people don't wave at me. They don't fear me anymore.
Now you have to look for a sticker to move around. Before you used to be the sticker yourself.
I was the one distributing them.
You know.
Now I have to call politely Kataike, say, please help me.
That's if she picks.
Yes, also.
See, now you call us, we are too busy.
Yes.
People are busy.
Exactly.
They possibly are not.
No, they become busy on the 1st of May. Straight. I mean, in fact, after 29th, when I said now I am, and I don't hold it against them. It's all right. Some of them were acquaintances because of work, and it's only legitimate that they move on. Me, I move on to the next thing. And now I am talking to people in the farming world. Some friend has just called me. We are going to discuss the possibility. He's already exporting, because he was in the best farmers, he's already exporting coffee in the Netherlands. So he wants to talk to me to see
some synergies.
Yes, that's the world I live in now. So you and it helps because you're able to move on and leave all of these things behind. You don't get drawn into. And now I meet these same people and we laugh. We say, okay, what was that all about? And they say, anyway.
But that's for you,
yeah,
Robert. But behind you is a wife, his children,
yes,
his family.
Yes.
Who possibly, I mean, they may not share with you that feeling. I mean,
yes,
as a young boy, if my father is CEO of a company, I want to drop it around, and my
yes,
father is CEO.
Yes.
The prospect of you leaving, how did your family take the transition?
It was very difficult, especially for not, I don't know whether the word is difficult. It was, the news was tough, especially for my children. Now, I tell my children in December. Remember, I announced in January. But by December, I knew I was leaving. You know, that decision had already been made. So I had to tell my children then. So that's the day I made a very, very important discovery. That because children are our children, we never pay attention to their own emotions and their own dreams and fears. We think that we're doing all the thinking for them and what we feel is what they should feel. So I realized that for my children, the first fear that came into their minds was, what happens to school now? Are we going to leave school? Because they've been in school with their fellows and colleagues who have left because their parents have lost jobs and they leave school. So now they begin to think, so we're going to suffer the same fate. And that's the first question they asked me. Said, so what happens to our school now? Of course, I told them what the plans were, and I reassured them that they would still go to school regardless, and that do whatever it takes to keep them in school, and that their education for me was priority number one.
Paramount.
Yeah, I mean, even all of this farming business, if it means abandoning it so they can remain in school, I was willing to do that. The moment they understood that and were reassured that they could go back to school, their fears, I could see, immediately went down. One of them actually cried, thinking this must be the end of the world. I told them, no. I said, first of all, school is guaranteed. 2, the house you live in here in Mutungo is guaranteed, so you will continue to have your home. There will be a reduction in some of the nice things we have. It's
back to one ban.
Yeah, one ban. You may not see eggs very often. You can't pay Simon. And with that, once that happened, my wife, it was slightly simpler because she had been following all the things that we've been going through. So it wasn't.
You had been briefing her by the pillow.
Yes.
These ones you meet.
Yes.
This one is regular.
So she knew. So she said, you know what? I think maybe it's time, because over the years we had gotten used to these situations. So she said maybe it's about time, and we agreed. The moment she was comfortable with it, then I was happy to make the decision and go through with it. So she was happy with it. She said, no, let's find something else to do. I said, fine, I'll go to the farm. I've been telling you about this. So the kids, I told them, and now I tell them, you understand that I have to build this farm as a source of income for us to be able to sustain our livelihood. So please understand that. They said, okay. So now I tell them, I have to go to the farm. They say, okay. Yeah. But just to be sure you're here on the times we expect you to be here, which is good enough.
That's very interesting.
So you have to be, one thing I learned from my mother is you have to be open with your children about the fortunes of the family. There are no two ways about it. Don't ever, you can lie to your wife, you can lie to yourself, but never, ever lie to your children. Never.
Why did you tell me this earlier, Robert?
Because one, I hadn't experienced it to that level, but you hadn't faced these circumstances. Yes.
I wasn't here. Anyway, let's have this conversation.
So it doesn't pay to lie to your family anyway, because
But in your case, you're lucky. Your family is wife, children.
Yes.
No father, no mother.
But that's all that matters.
That's what it's coming to.
No,
is
don't.
That all that matters.
Yes. Yes. Don't ever be deceived.
Mm.
I have cousins. I have 2 brothers, one here, one in Denmark. But they have their lives. So I don't
Clearly, because I didn't even think you had anyone, like a sibling or anything.
I do, surprisingly. We're actually a very large family. I mean, we're about 53 Kabushengas.
Adults.
Well, everybody who goes by that name, there's 53 of us.
No, adults. Because the children.
No, even the children. If you add the kids, grandchildren, anybody who carries that name, there's 53 of us almost.
I'm still counting. You don't know who's born today, man.
Yeah, no, there's at least. So, in that sense, that side of the family, I had a way in which I managed them. But ultimately, the people who have to pay the price are the people, yes. So that thing which I was telling you about not telling them lies. And you see, like your wife, when you wake up, she's the only person who has seen you in all forms, including your behinds. When you wake up, when they're uncovered.
Uncovered. And importantly, she makes that last decision on which ICU to take you.
Leave the ICU. She's the one who signs remove the oxygen. So now when you sign next of kin, who do you put there? So they might as well know everything. It saves so much trouble. So much trouble. So that's what I would say. That there's no point. So you tell them, then it allows you to forget. So you cannot forget. You do your other things. Then you go. No problem.
Robert, play your next song.
Wow, is that quick? So my next song is by one of the greatest African musicians to have ever come out of Congo.
Oh,
Franco.
Okay, please. I hope it's not 15 minutes because you know
it's like 20 minutes. Well, you can cut it short if you want, but
2 songs on one side of the tape. Side A, 2 songs. Side B.
Those guys were something else. I mean, Franco, T.P. Okeja's band, and the song is Missile. Missile, you can cut it short, there's no problem. But it expresses a certain time when we were growing up of, the 70s, the 80s, of, these Congolese and what they were able to do and how they entertained us. I mean, you went to a party, not these days where, they put on music and the guys go...
concert is being announced by Tabukati.
in Dongola. not this stuff that these young guys play and then you... No. The guys would come, and they play music.
The first tune they
the guitar, then they play slow, then after that they turn. First you're dancing squeeze with the girl, then after that you release and you start grooving. Exactly. So Missile is a fantastic ballad. I think it's a great song to play.
Wow. Yeah. Let's do that for our listening pleasure. It's always a nice way to unwind on a Sunday evening here. It will keep you engaged even when you go in for a break and disrupt your listening pleasure to his music. But here we are again. Robert, you talked about growing up in Naguru and, the interesting times of the 70s, the 80s and all that. Just take us back to the best of your recollection in your childhood and growing up.
So,
and of course, some of your picking and some of these other misdemeanors. I mean, you are raised just next to the remand home for children. Did you ever?
No, and it was always like a scaring point. Naguru. And actually, I have an enduring friend for life whose mother used to head that place. He's now a judge of the High Court, Justice Michael Elubu. His mother was in charge of the remand home. So my mother would tell me, if you will take you
there. So was the Elubu's home an extension of it?
It was across the road, actually.
No, like their home being in their house. It's an extension of what was going on.
No. The home was...
She knew how to distinguish.
No, her home was different. And we were in the same school with Michael. Okay. So, you know what I look back at and I feel a sense of nostalgia is, first of all, we grew up at a time, there were no walls.
Exactly, even where there were fences.
There were no fences.
There were Christmas trees.
And there were halls. And we enjoyed, so we lived in flats, so that wasn't a problem. But you'd go to a friend's home, and there was that's how the name Panya Roots started, because the rat could go through a hole. So there were these holes into people's fences. It didn't matter, people didn't have gates. what I look back to was we played. Simon, we
You
played
rolled tires like these with
outside.
cassava stems in
We fell down. We have scars on our shins. We climbed trees. Did you ever climb a jambula tree? You know, it's the most difficult tree to
Slippery
climb.
like this.
There are no branches until you're
Until
up.
you're up.
So you had to have a system of grabbing yourself going up. Now, but then you also, you see, power has come from a long time ago. So you have to have a system of guys down there protecting your...
Jambula thing.
Yes, because you go up there and you shake. Now guys gather. But you have to have some kanyamas down there.
Because there are 3 of you up, and each one of them has their own people.
Yes. Then the system of mangoes, trees, because we couldn't climb those trees out there, beating mangoes. So you throw a stick, whap, get a mango.
And many of them, you never waited for them even to
No,
write
well,
it.
there's no time. You're hungry.
You're hungry. So salt and raw mangoes.
Then we went to school. Going to school, we all walked to school. Very few people were dropped in cars. Maybe the people went to like Chitante and Nakasero. Their parents had cars. I was in Shimoni. Just walk from Naguru through Kololo, down Wampeo, there where now this Chizito and Nyakana have a shop. You cross through there and you go to Shimoni. In the evening, you walk back along Jinja Road with the guys going to Ntinda. They leave you at Lugogo. You cross. You first spend hours watching football. KCCA.
Yeah,
That's why I have always been a lifelong supporter of KCCA. They are there at the behind ShopRite. Yeah. So we'd sit there, watch football. Then you realize time has gone. You run back home. They beat you. You missed time for evening tea and bathing. I don't know if it happened to you.
Bathing or washing legs, you know.
They would bathe. They would bathe you with fuba. And then smear you with Vaseline. But those were the times. It was a tough time. When I look at some of the debates and complaints today, and people are screaming and shouting, and I just think, like for me now, yes, the pandemic has been a tough one. And it has had, bad consequences. People have lost loved ones. But a friend of mine called me and said, but aren't you... I said, no, for us who grew up during Amin's time, we know life was much worse.
And more uncertain.
No, and usually people were killed just like that. Friends, we know, their lives stopped. You are in class with Simon. Suddenly, Simon stops coming to school. After like 2 months, you know Simon. Then you hear quietly, it's being whispered, Simon's father was killed.
And they went to the village.
Yeah.
They disappeared.
Life ended for those people. There were no phones those days. There was nothing. Sugar was a rumor. You would hear that the Simons, they have tea with sugar
on Sunday.
Yeah. So I think that life, yes, there's a pandemic and everything, but life is much better today. Way better for a lot of people than it was then. Life then was difficult.
So was that realization of how difficult life was?
Yes.
In you at that particular
Very
time?
much.
Or you just wallowed through like happy
No.
And so when it was it one of those driving factors that made sure that you do your stuff the best that you could in class?
Yes, and it also still rules the way we approach life. People of my generation. Mm-hmm. We are so ruled by the experience of shortage, of uncertainty of life. And you can see it in the children and the way we've raised children, that we are trying to compensate for our own
lack.
Exactly. And we want to now live their lives for them and do things for them, and we're disabling them in the process. So it had its fun. I mean, like I said, we played outside, we had friends, real friends, not the ones on the phone and social media. We had real friends. And some of them are enduring. Like I have friends I've been friends with since 1972. Wow. We still talk today. Yeah, we run into each other. We've aged, but we're still friends. So those kinds of things were good. We also went through hardship, which prepared us for when now things stabilized. So for me, there is nothing you're going to tell me about hardship that I didn't know. I sat through 2 civil wars. I sat through the war that removed Idi Amin, the war that removed Obote, that whole 80s. You see, people talk about that war of the 81 to 85 from the point of view of the fighters and the people who were in the bush. Mm-hmm. Nobody has talked about what life was like on this side.
The street where people
were being brutalized by rogue elements and how it was unsafe at night and the robberies and the shortages, and the people had no options. People had no options. I mean, when I tell people we used to drink porridge in the morning, eat posho for lunch, drink porridge in the evening, and eat posho for they don't understand.
Bottom line, maize.
Carbohydrates.
And one carbohydrate.
One. Occasionally, if somebody comes from the village, they bring you cassava. But you see, remember, it's perishable.
You eat that one once, you know what?
Yeah. So for me today, that's the only thing I have argued with Dr. Kasenene. I don't even know Kasenene. I will eat meat and I will drink sugar because I grew up during a minister. Most things were not there. Just leave me that one. I will run 30 kilometers, anything else you want. But meat, I will eat. Chapati, I will eat. Sugar, I will drink. Because leave me. Because really, those were tough times.
Margarine, what is called blue bar?
Ah, my friends. You hear that at the Simon's home, their father came back from Nairobi. He has toothpaste. Toothpaste. We used to bathe with washing soap. What are you talking about?
So what were we using for brushing? Soap again?
Soap, yeah. At least you had a toothbrush. Yeah, you put a bit of soap, you scrub your teeth, they are white. We didn't know about these days, but about dental floss, mouthwash. Toothpicks. I thought it was a fashion statement in the early 90s.
And yeah, it was moving around.
The late Gerard Chidwi popularized it. He used to move around with a toothpick. So I thought, but really, it's look. It was I don't regret it because it shaped who we are. It made us resilient. And then we had two lives. So you are in town, then during holidays, especially Christmas, you go to the village. So
what was it like when you went to the village, met your village cousins?
You were like a superstar.
So
you are like a superstar.
And you are not even proficient in the local language?
Oh, no, I was actually.
Oh, why?
Yeah, no, for me, I was lucky because then my first language is Lugiso. And if you found me rolling with my relatives.
And that language is spoken rolling because there's a way their tongue rolls in the mouth. You're juggling a hot potato.
Yes. If you find me with my relatives in Mbale, you will never believe it's me. You'll never believe, yes. So
I heard the way you pronounce Ruahaha.
Yeah, because I get put about Luakaka. What's Luakaka? It doesn't exist.
It's what?
Luakaka. Yes, that's this. You ask anybody, because that's those people there. The Luyas on the other side. And so we would go to the village. It was like freedom. You know. Have you ever bathed in rain?
Oh yes.
So when it would rain like this, you are lucky. You're not going to have to go to either the river to bathe there,
or to bathe in the compound, or the banana leaf they put there.
At least a banana leaf. We had these stones which were slippery, and there were no slippers those days. So you stand on it, you're sliding. So when it would rain like this, you remove your clothes, you dive into the rain. It's like a shower room. You put soap. When you come back in the house, you're okay. Now no more bathing. For that day, you are done. Life was that simple. The other elements, of course, as we became a bit more of age, now we joined the young men. So in the morning you dig. During the day you go and fetch water. Then after fetching water, you take the cows for grazing. After grazing, you come back, you go to the stream, you bathe. Then you come back home. Now you change. Then you go to the road.
To the road or in the center.
In the trading center. Because the girls are going to pass.
So you stand there.
Yeah, you must show. Then they must know that you are the one from Kampala. Yes.
How would they know? You speak a bit of English?
No, your cousins of the village would put word around that our cousins from Kampala have. So the girls pass around to see whether the people from Kampala have 6 toes or. But that was life. It was much simpler then. And that's why I guess it's not very difficult for me to come and live on a farm because I had both experiences, an urban and a rural experience. I mean, in 1987, I spent a certain holiday working as a town boy on the back of my grandmother's pickup. So it was fun, but it was also an experience. So all those things. Then one time I was in Kawale in school and then there was no fuel. Then we had to walk home. You know, all these are things that when you
valuable.
Yes, and so it's in a way it's simpler for me to come and be part of this what looks like a hard scrabble existence in a way that my children and your children can't because their experiences are different.
Let's get down to habit. A few habits you pick up along the way. Now I'm told you're a teetotaler,
Oh yeah,
but before that,
yes.
give it good.
Which was actually an anomaly because throughout high school, the only vice I had, and which I carried on thinking it was, and believing erroneously, if you want to put it that way, that it was a family tradition, was smoking. Because every male in my family smoked.
So for you say that.
This is the
What
one.
were you smoking? Let's be sure.
Tobacco, cigarettes. And at that time it was,
My friend, I think it's
smoking at that time was up there with making a girl pregnant. Leave alone having a girlfriend. Not having a girlfriend was also first a problem. Then making her pregnant. Then those were the vices. And alcohol. Today people do worse things, but
exactly. But smoking was you made a village girl pregnant.
Oh yeah. But so I pick up alcohol much later. When
smoking. When was the first time you?
I was 13 when I first smoked. I smoked.
Your cousin passed it down the line?
No, I was in school. It was in school. You find somebody, they'll tell you that a cigarette is good after lunch, after meals. So you pick it up and it's addictive. So there was no ceremony that at this point in time there was an initiation. It's just something you picked up along the way. It's a vice I picked up. And I stayed with it till I was 20 when I stopped. I was 20 something.
That was after your
20, 22, 23. Now, no.
What made you stop?
I just didn't want to smoke anymore.
Rare for people who smoke to just decide not to smoke again.
I think that's one thing that my father passed on, if there's anything called genetical, that my father passed on. My father had very strong willpower. If he woke up and he said, he went hospital, he was a very heavy smoker. He went hospital one day, he'd suffered a very bad case of bronchitis, and the doctor told him, stop smoking. And he stopped smoking. From 2 packets a day to just zero.
And spent 2 years on withdrawal symptoms?
Nothing, he was fine. When they told him he had diabetes and couldn't continue drinking tea with sugar, he stopped.
Oh.
So I just stopped because I didn't think I wanted to smoke anymore. I'd had it. So I stopped. Then after stopping smoking, 2 years later, I picked up alcohol. I know, it was a bit late in life. Now, alcohol, I did stop also just suddenly when I went to the media center, because I now realized if I was going to be serious in life, doing the job I was doing, I couldn't. And I also didn't intend it. I was appointed in September. I started working. Now, I can't remember when, but sometime Besige was arrested. Now, after that, there was just no time to go to a bar because we were working till 2 a.m. every night until the election of March 2006. And at that point, I said, well, what's the point in going back to alcohol? I've done 6 months almost without drinking. And I'm performing better. I might as well leave it. And then my performance at the media center started to improve, and my output and this is very important. The sausage on Sunday started to taste differently from the one when I would have a hangover from Saturday. I left.
So sausage is figurative?
No, the real thing, the meat.
The meat.
So since then, and that's the point at which I think I began to say, look, to get ahead and to do things in life, you must be serious.
And seriousness meant drop certain vices,
which you don't need in order for you to focus. You don't need those distractions. And you have to be sober all the time. You already lose enough hours in sleep. You don't need to lose a few more.
Awake but
inebriated. Exactly.
Oh, let's play the next song, Robert.
Wow. This one we're going home.
Home where?
Chikezi.
Take me there.
Our friend Kahiri Mbanyi.
We saw that meme going around for 7 years. Or you stopped your way home.
One of his best songs he ever played is a song called Ingaha. Let's play that one. Ingaha. It really, it touches home. You feel, I can almost feel myself in Chinchizi.
Very good.
Every time I play that song.
Let's get down to that from Mr. Kairi Mbanyi Inga.
Desert Island Discs.
Hinga, hinga, hinga. Hinga, hinga, hinga.
Welcome back. It's Desert Island Discs, and on the program, an incredible man by all accounts. And if you've missed the program, no worries. At least we're on YouTube. You can play back. You can always catch us anytime. Now, Robert, you're here. The horizon looks like it's clear for you. You know where you want to take this. You already see yourself at 72 and beyond. Here.
Yes.
Where do you see this? Just break it down for us. Give it to us in words.
Producing the finest coffee possible, a thriving farm, doing bananas, and living very simply but very happily and very comfortably.
That's if you don't get the disruption of another appointment. If it came, will you take it?
Well, I told you about 2006. Now, when you've been through that orientation, what we say is that when the commander-in-chief gives you an order, you carry it out. So I am a fully trained cadre. If the commander-in-chief says, go and do this task, you go and do it. But what I'm doing now is defining and doing my farm in such a way that it will continue to be the center of gravity for me. It's what will take my life.
Wherever else you gravitate,
this is the center. Whatever else I do after this has to accommodate my ability to continue to be a farmer and to do this as the mainstay.
Robert, many times people who are like you, when they leave public service, maybe even in circumstances like you left, they try to, boss, I'm here.
Tuma mina.
You're not doing that, are you?
No, he knows where I am. He knows me very well. He knows what I'm capable of. And it's his judgment. And he has many other people he has to consider as well. So if I fit in the plans, fine. If I don't, that's also fine. That's why the focus has to be on getting this farm of mine to work, because that's all I have, and it's the plan that I have.
You just preempted my next question by saying, so if the call doesn't ever come, you won't feel
I have friends in South Africa who are in the African National Congress. And they told me a story of one of the leaders of the ANC. He was actually SACP. So he had expected that he was going to be appointed minister by Mandela. So in the morning, when Mandela was supposed to be making the calls, he woke up and wore a suit, and he sat near his phone. And he waited. Remember that time cell phones didn't come. So he was waiting on his landline. The next thing he looked, Mandela was announcing the cabinet on TV and his name wasn't there. Why? You shouldn't sit around waiting. What are you waiting for?
You do something, get yourself busy.
Be busy. Be busy. That's why. So the other one which they gave you, it ended. Again, let's go back to our man Sefagal. Tolerate. Leave others to do their tasks. Get out of the way. Just be where you're supposed to be. If there is a task which requires somebody of your temperament, of your skills and experience,
they will come.
They will call you, but they know where you are. But don't sit there waiting to, because what if they don't call you? Then what? What do you tell your wife? Because the woman has to eat. Her children have to eat. What are you going to feed her on? Expectations?
Anytime now.
That what now?
Anytime now.
No, my friend. Then other men will come and feed. Yes! They will invest. So relax. God has given you this. You do it. They say, good luck and fortune comes dressed as overalls. Put on the overalls. Why do you fear?
What about you getting yourself on a ballot paper somewhere?
No.
And the way you are operating in this village and the way people are talking about you?
No. It's too costly. It's not a price. There are many things I have required of members of my family. That one is not a sacrifice I'm going to ask them to make. They will not allow. My wife just won't accept it. The children don't want it. So
And you, Robert, can't afford it.
I can't afford
Also,
it.
you're not a very pleasant character like these politicians. You
But
tell off your voters.
that is the problem.
And they will vote you badly.
Exactly. And it takes away my ability to be able to speak freely. And if you have an uncontrolled mouth, so it works against you. So that's that. I can't. So forget about
For you, politics?
that phase. As it went with my time in the media, I think that's when. But I'm definitely not going for elective politics. That's out. It's not going to happen.
Lately, you have, especially with this latest phase of the pandemic, where we're given 42 days, you picked up something that just went platinum almost overnight.
It was. I was surprised.
Sharing your wealth of knowledge, but most importantly, your networks, and bringing them to life in spaces where young people were yearning to listen and watch sense.
Yeah.
I won't ask how that's gone, but how do you intend to continue that? Is that the direction you're looking at? To say, I'm going to squeeze myself of all the knowledge and wealth of experience I've had and just give it to the next generation gratis?
Because what do I do with it now? It is sitting in my head. I can't put it on a shelf and sell it. No.
You can't package it in coffee bags.
Nothing. No.
Give it away.
It is of no benefit to me. I have already used it and benefited. So I have an obligation, both patriotic and divine, to empower people who are younger with what I know and let them make better choices. Because if those people make bad choices, they can take the country off the cliff. So we are invested in them making better choices. We saw the problems during the campaigns, and you see it on fake news and the kids getting worked up about things that don't exist. So pass on the information. I became what I am because I was sitting at the feet of people who knew. And I drank from them, and I became what I became. Now, what is there for me to take now? It's not proprietary. It's not as if, now I take it to the grave and does what in the grave now? So this opportunity came up, I saw it, I thought, okay, maybe let me use these 40 days. People are sitting around doing nothing, they're puzzled. I have faced these situations. Last lockdown, I watched people wasting time quarreling on social media and watching things that didn't matter made in Europe and America. I said, okay, I have followers, let me try and be of practical use to them during this time. If I am useful to about 100 people,
that's okay.
Do you know what shocked me?
You have thousands of them.
Actually, somebody did an analytics. There's a young lady, very smart young lady called Ruth Aine. She did analytics for me for this campaign. This campaign has reached 8 million people. Shocked. What's going on, guys? So everybody, you should monetize. No. These are God's things. He gives them to you for free. Just give. It's like oxygen. Just give, let people breathe. As they say, government So I will do it because I have an obligation. Simon, I went to school in this country at a subsidized rate. The taxpayers paid for me up to university.
Why shouldn't you give back to them?
I got a job.
The taxpayers paid you.
I have lived well. I think it is what they call it. It is cheating people. If I now want to say, let me now be a consultant, which I'm paid by hour, no. Give. What is there? Give. COVID can take you now and you die. Give. There's nothing for you to lose. You have already gained. Because somebody said, but why don't you send an invoice? I said, no, I took advance. I am now paying back.
Wonderful lifestyle that you have.
Yeah.
What's your favorite dish now?
Wow. First of all, let me tell you my eating habits, and these have remained. I'm a very domestic eater. I eat at home.
In Luchiga, that would be a busy. Complicated guy.
Very complicated. At home, I go home, I eat at home.
And I hope that for you, it's not freshly made kalo.
No.
When you arrive, they put the water on fire.
No.
I know men like you.
Sometimes I tell them that water you bathe it. I am coming with it.
I'm coming take away.
I'm coming with the cafeteria. No, because it's part of communing with your people at home. So we eat together. So I'm a very domestic eater. I'm not a very picky eater, but I would rather eat the food that's cooked at home. The few times we go out, I now look at Madame and the children and say, you decide what I should eat.
So now you live in such a dictatorial setting that people determine what you eat, not what your whims are.
No, because like here at the farm, I eat exactly the same food as my workers, and it's posho and beans. Finished. There's no time for niceties. I never was such a great cook, so.
Yeah, but I'm not asking what you're eating at the moment. What's your favorite dish? Like what? Yeah, what?
Okay. I quite, first of all, I enjoy like any typical Ugandan.
Etoke.
Nevinyegwa. Okay. But I add, because of my Mbale existence.
Maleo.
Malaya. People call it Maleo. It's Malaya.
Malaya.
Malaya. It's actually the correct pronunciation. Kamalea. That's the name. Wow. Kamalea.
I've never eaten those bamboo things. I mean,
it's delicious. It's like mushrooms. So, matoke, ground out with the Malaya or mushrooms. I'll be happy, man. Or rice and beans. Very well, fresh beans and rice.
Fried or boiled?
Fresh beans and rice. I'll have a blast. Or a mondi, that's Irish potatoes, katogo, and fresh peas with ghee for breakfast. Yeah, we can go to town.
How do you wash it down now that you don't drink anyway?
Yes, I take tea or coffee, depending. So if I'm not having coffee, then I'll have rooibos tea or dawa tea, which I have been doing for the last God knows how many years. But now because I produce coffee, I must love my own product before I start asking other people to consume it. Yes.
What gets you angry, Robert? Like really worked up?
Like, I don't know if
I can see you actually getting angry.
Yeah,
the thought of it is just getting you.
I don't know if you know the term, but there are people who are called abawejere. There are people who are poor. Life handed them a bad deal. Okay, what makes me angry is when people mistreat people in that, because they're just, whether it's at work. Why are you? This person is at work. For them, it's desperation. That's why he's an office messenger. That's why he cooks food, makes tea, serves you. Why do you hound those people? Why? What has he done to you? Already life has beaten the person so badly. Now you're adding yourself because you want to prove that you have power. So the mistreatment of people who are disadvantaged by life is not a good thing. Yeah, and those people, I was always sympathetic to them at work because they are there. Because I used to say all of us came here for a kavera. The only difference is that yours is black, mine is green. Green is bigger. Green kavera is bigger. Yours is black.
Isn't this white one the
smallest? Yes. And I said, and there's some things I used to tell the guys. They said, for instance, when we had would get a Christmas package, things take home. So, they would say, now, EXCO members should also have a bottle of wine. I said, no. Level. All of us, whether office messenger or Kabushenga, will all take 2 Coca-Colas, rice, soap. That's enough. Because, the same as medical, because irrespective of our different social positions, our emotions towards our children are exactly the same. So if our children are not eating, if they're not going to school, whether your children are in international school or they're in a normal school, the fact that they're not in school creates exactly the same emotions in you as it does. Yes, we're humans.
What gives you a good laugh? Well, you have.
This is one thing that I wish everybody in their lives could have, a sense of humor. Because a sense of humor saves you from many problems. One of the things about a sense of humor is that it makes you laugh at yourself. And there's nothing better in life than laughing at your own circumstances.
Get out of your skin
and laugh at yourself. Because then when you do, no matter what other people do to mock you, it will never make you angry.
I like that.
Finished. You solve life's problems.
You're a widely traveled man.
Yes, but I've never been to Australia and Latin America, so that doesn't count for widely traveled, maybe fairly
I've
well
been to
traveled.
Jamaica, you know.
Ah, you're lucky, man. Me, I would like to go to Cuba. That is the one place. Cuba and Jamaica.
Hey, Cuba, yeah, I've been told that some of those cohibas are all
Let's not go there.
That's the one I want. And Jamaica.
Jamaica.
That place.
Yeah.
But what about here in Uganda? Where would you love to live around and enjoy yourself and be at peace and at one with nature? Don't mention this place. We're already here.
Kidepo.
Wow. I would ask why. But I'll ask why this place, in Wachiso, bears the name Rujeyo.
Because...
Is this the name of this village?
No, so this is Chitaita
Chitaita
village, Chitaita parish, Nakulamude. They interchange the names.
Mm-hmm.
But Rujeyo is the name of the sub-county where I come from. My home in Kanungu. And it means the place of the colobus monkey, because you know Kanungu was a national park. And that particular place where we came from was dominated by colobus monkeys.
Was a national park or still is a national park?
It's pretty much degazetted now.
Even you guys who live in there.
No, it's their mama and babas who are...
You're part of the animals.
No, Chinchizi West, they're the ones who are still with the animals.
They are still the animals.
They're there in Lake Edward and so on. So
now you're drawing it closer to Gangari and
yeah, you are all the same.
Have a fight.
But the thing I was saying is that the Rujeyo, the reason why I picked the name is I wanted a unique name, but also I told my family that I had moved. I wasn't going back to Chinchizi. This was going to be my home. I'm going to settle here. So I borrowed the name to maintain the emotional attachment about Rujeyo. But the only place called Rujeyo is the farm. The rest of the village has its name, and I'm not changing names at all.
When you put in a Google search
Yes.
for Google Maps,
Yes.
say Rujeyo,
Yes.
the damn thing brings you here.
Oh, it does. I didn't know.
And not
the
We may have to think of
proprietary
right IP.
No, I am entitled as a person from there to use the name just the same way I do, and it's fine. And I look back with a bit of personal satisfaction because, one, being in the public space, people may not recall, but when I was on radio, I used to make Kanungu quite famous until the Chiweteres came along and did
showed you what it means. Infamy.
Exactly. And now I have gone and picked an obscure name
and made it something else.
So it's now on Google Maps. Fine.
Robert Kabushenga, it's been a pleasure having you on the program. We can't thank you more.
My last song.
For being, at least taking some time off your otherwise very busy schedule on the farm to speak to guys wearing bow ties and the city smelling.
You look odd. And out of place.
I don't know I'm going to survive with you up here. I better knock myself up because the bees may come down for me.
Yes.
Importantly is to say, even for our listeners, we don't take it for granted that they sit, watch, and listen.
Yeah.
And for that matter, leave them your last wonderful song.
This one is for my wife, and it is a song called Mbamuzibe. It's by Silver Chagulanyi.
Mbamuzibe means what and why?
That I would be blind if I didn't see all the joy and qualities that you bring into my life.
Wow, an incredible way to show not just love and affection, but gratitude.
And to sign out.
Let's meet same time, same place next week with yet another incredible life story here on Desert Island Discs.
Desert Island Discs. Desert Island Discs.